জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী। জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী। গোপীজন বল্লভ গিরিবরধারী। জয় গোপীজন বল্লভ গিরিবরধারী। যশোদানন্দন ব্রজজন রঞ্জন। যশোদানন্দন ব্রজজন রঞ্জন। যমুনা তীর বনচারী। যমুনা তীর বনচারী। জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী। জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী। হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে, হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nittai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So today is the last day of the seminar. I had to cut short the seminar. Actually, we were supposed to have another class from 11 to 1, but I have some pressing business in New York, so I have to rush there. That's why we decided to combine these two classes into one. So we'll go on till about 10 o'clock. And before the class, before we end, we'll have a few other features also. That is, one is we want to thank the organizers and the devotees of New Gita Nagari for creating such a wonderful facility for all of us and taking care of us so nicely. And then I think we'll have a small feature presented by the children, and then 5 or 6 devotees will speak on their realizations of the seminar. And after that, I would like to present the Ocean of Mercy, the book that I wrote on my days with Srila Prabhupada, to the Samadhi of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So, and then after offering that book to him, I will leave, and you all also will take breakfast and then get ready to leave. So I hope you had a nice experience here. So these seminars are very nice. It kind of brings us together and gives us a feeling of togetherness. That gives us an understanding where do we belong? We belong to a wonderful family that has been created by Srila Prabhupada, the family of ISKCON. And such a wonderful family we won't find anywhere. And the attraction of this family is so wonderful that without any hesitation, we leave our so-called family and come and join this family. And so I feel that this is where I really belong. And I know I had many families in the past, out of many parentage, but never ever I found such a family that has been created by Srila Prabhupada. And more we get together, more we get the experience of this family, better it is for us. Because it is important that we recognize the fact that this is our real family. And this family is actually an extension of our real family in the spiritual world, where Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the father of all of us. Krishna is the Tashang Brahma Mahajonir, Ahang bija pradapita. Krishna is actually the Supreme Father. In Christianity, this concept is very clear, God the Father. So that is our real identity. We all belong to Him, we came from Him. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made the arrangement in a most wonderful way to take us back to that, back home, back to Godhead. And Srila Prabhupada has extended that arrangement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so wonderfully. So I hope I have been able to generate some understanding and interest of Sri Chaitanya for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shravanam, hearing is very important. The spiritual reality is beyond our sense perception. Therefore it is called adhokshaja. Adhokshaja, beyond sense perception. But it has been mentioned that out of 5 senses, one sense can actually reach there. It's beyond our sense perception, but one sense can perceive that reality. And that is our ears. By hearing, we can perceive that reality. It is only through hearing. We can't see that reality with our eyes. We cannot touch that reality with our hands. We cannot smell that reality with our nose. To some extent, we can taste that reality through our tongue. But ears are the only receptacle, only sense that can perceive that reality. Therefore, this process is called Shrauta Pantha, the hearing process. Shruti, Vedas are known as Shruti. The word Shruti comes from hearing. Shruti. So we can perceive that reality through hearing. And when you properly hear, that reality becomes manifest in our heart. And when that reality becomes manifest in our heart, we get transported to that reality. We can see that from Brahma Samhita. What happened to Brahma? Brahma is actually transported there. He is seeing Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu. He is seeing that reality. And in that reality, he is seeing Krishna. Venung Kanantam, he is playing his flute. Alola Chandraka Lasad Banamala Vamsi. There is a moon-shaped locket is swinging on his chest. Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam. His head is decorated with a peacock feather. So it's not just Brahma is kind of composing some poetry. No, Brahma is perceiving it. And that is what happens. Through the process of hearing, we'll be able to see that reality. With our purified transcendental senses. Our eyes, these eyes are material, is a part of the material body. And with these eyes we can see only material objects. So all these senses are simply able to perceive the material objects, material things, materials objects, material sound, material taste, and so forth. But that reality cannot be perceived with our material senses. With the purified senses means our spiritual senses. Material senses are active because of the spiritual senses. Spirit soul has eyes. Spirit soul has ears. Spirit soul has nose and tongue and touch. But now our spiritual body has become non-existent. It has become just a tiny spark. The body has degenerated into just a spiritual spark. The body is gone. As a result of the spiritual senses are gone, and that consciousness, which is spiritual, is being projected through this body, and we are thinking that we are conscious and we are experiencing various things. But the reality is that our spiritual body is our real body. This body is not. It's just an external covering. And the spiritual body will become manifest through the process of devotional service. So in simple words, through the spiritual activities, the spiritual body will become manifest. When we become engaged in spiritual activities, the spiritual senses will awaken. When with our hands we render service, with our different limbs of the body we render devotional service to Krishna, then the spiritual body will become revived. Because we lost our spiritual activity, the spiritual body is gone. It has become just a spiritual spark. But through devotional service, from that spark, the spiritual body will become manifest. Therefore, devotional service is the only process for reviving our spiritual identity. And that will happen by rendering devotional service. The other day I was speaking to Jadunath. Jadunath actually was telling me that he is more interested in philosophy than pastimes. So, nice question, very good question. And then I pointed out, actually the question came because that day I gave the importance of remembering Krishna through Krishna's pastimes. We remember Krishna only through his pastimes. And it is important to remember Krishna's pastimes because when the time comes for us to leave the body, we have to remember Krishna. But how do we remember Krishna? We will be able to remember Krishna only through his pastimes. And then I pointed out to him that philosophy is pertaining to ourselves. But pastimes are pertaining to Krishna. Yes, philosophy is needed. Philosophy is necessary to understand our identity, our existence in this material nature, the nature of the material nature, all that are necessary. But ultimately we have to meditate on Krishna's pastimes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Like when it comes to remembering Krishna, how are you going to remember Krishna? Sorry. How are you going to remember Krishna? We can meditate on the form, the deity form. But then what will happen? Even when we are standing in front of the deities, seeing the deities, mind will drift. Mind will drift. For a few seconds, a few minutes, we may be focused on the deity, but then... But that focus will become... The focus will become real. The focus will become tangible when we meditate on Krishna. Or not meditate, remember Krishna's pastimes. Like when we meditate on, see what actually happens. Say you are meditating on Krishna's Damodar Leela. Start off with Krishna came to Mother Jashoda. Mother Jashoda is churning the yogurt, making butter. And seeing Krishna holding on to her, embracing her legs while she is standing, little Krishna, Mother Jashoda realized that he wants to drink her milk. So she stops churning the butter, sits down, picks up Krishna on her lap, and lets Krishna and starts to breastfeed Krishna. Doesn't it continue? What happened after that? Krishna is happily drinking her mother's milk. And all of a sudden, Mother Jashoda remembered or felt that the milk is boiling on the fire and now it's about to spill over. So she quickly picks up Krishna, puts her on the ground, runs to attend the milk, boiling milk. Krishna is shocked. So happily he was drinking his mother's milk, and all of a sudden, all that ecstasy is gone. Like the harsh reality, mother drops him like that, like. And for some time Krishna cries, look how my mother treated me. Then he feels angry. Why did she have to do that? What's the big deal about that milk? That milk was actually meant for me. And that also was not sure whether I was going to drink that milk at all or not. And I was drinking your milk. And look, what did you do? Depriving me from drinking your milk, we went to attend that milk. So he's so angry. And he gives vent to his anger. There's a stone. Throws it onto the pot that was meant for churning butter. Big pot actually. And it was full of yogurt mixed with water. And butter actually rises when you churn yogurt. And so the whole thing broke, the big pot. The whole room got flooded with buttermilk and yogurt and butter. And then Krishna leaves the room. Mother Jashoda comes after taking the milk out of the fire, and she sees what happened. At first she was a little surprised. What happened? And then she realized, this must be that Krishna. And she felt that boy has become so naughty. He needs to be chastised. So they actually separate the butter from the buttermilk with a stick. So she picks up that stick. And in the meantime, Krishna actually went to the next room where the butter was hanging from the rafter, and he turned that mortar upside down climbed onto the mortar, lowered the butter, and he was eating the butter and feeding the monkeys with the butter, and saw Mother Jashoda coming. He jumps out of the mortar and runs. See, like, the sequence just follows. Can your mind drift somewhere else? If it does, then you have a very special mind. Especially agile mind that jumps like a monkey from one branch to the other. So that is the thing. That is why Krishna's pastimes are so important. To meditate on Krishna, remember Krishna's pastimes. And in order to do that, we have to read Krishna book. In order to do that, we have to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you'll find the pastimes have been blended with philosophy. With Krishna's pastimes, sometimes we cannot really relate to the philosophy. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, we can relate to the philosophy very easily. He is defeating the scholars with philosophy. Especially his later pastimes. So anyway, that's why it's so important to meditate upon the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is saying, Man mana bhava. With your mind you think of me. But how to think of me? How to think of Krishna? We have to focus on Krishna's pastimes. And in order to focus on Krishna's pastimes, we have to hear them, we have to read them. Prabhupada made such wonderful arrangements. Krishna book is such a wonderful book. So, and read Prabhupada's books. I have noticed the tendency to read has diminished considerably. Maybe you all are very busy, don't have the time to read. But don't fall in that trap. Make it a point to read. Just as chanting 16 round is important, reading Prabhupada's books is important. When we were in the early days, whenever we had some spare time, we used to just sit down. Either if we are alone, we would read the books. And if a few of us were together, we would sit in a circle and read page by page and hand over to the next person to read. Such a wonderful practice. Like in group we read. So I know you all are busy, but who can be that busy that doesn't have any time? How many hours you can engage yourself? How many hours can you properly engage yourself in a day? Krishna gave you 24 hours. That's a long time. Unless you are in ISKCON management. So, we have so much time. When people tell me that they didn't have time to chant or read, my simple question is, do you have time to eat? Do you have time to sleep? No matter how busy you are, do you ever skip your lunch and dinner? Never happens. It can have a late one, but never skip one as such. And if we didn't get enough sleep, then we tend to cover it up some other time. So make it a point to relish the nectar. This is real nectar. This nectar you drink through your ears. Normal nectar you may drink through your mouth, but this nectar you drink through your ears. And how does it work? It just enters through your ears and enters into the region of your heart. And there it does something wonderful that you can't even imagine what it does. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described, it makes you mad. Entering into the region of your heart, no one knows what it does to you. You just lose yourself. You start behaving in a way that is, you never thought that you'll ever behave like. So this wonderful process of Krishna consciousness has been so mercifully given by Srila Prabhupada. And in conclusion, to get into Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, I also mentioned the other day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift and his teachings have been presented by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in a very wonderful way. His teaching is Aradha Bhagavan, the worshipable Supreme Personality of Godhead, Aradhya Bhagavan. Who is the worshipable Supreme Personality of Godhead? Brajesho Tanai, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Stadhama Vrindavanam. His abode is Vrindavan. His dham is Vrindavan. He lives in Vrindavan. So much so that he never even takes a step out of Vrindavan. So that Supreme Personality of Godhead always resides in Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan also there are different types of worship. And of all these worships, Ramma Kachi Dupashana Brajabodhu Borgena Jakulpita. The way the cowherd damsels worshipped him, that is the highest form of worship. Brajabodhu means cowherd damsels. Borgena, group, multitude of cowherd damsels. The way they worshipped him, that's the highest form of worship. Brajabodhu Borgena Jakulpita. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. The spotless Puran. The Puran that has no tinge of material touch. No tinge of influence of material mode. Amal. Totally free from material contamination. Spotless Puran, Srimad Bhagavatam, is the proof. If somebody questions, what you are saying, how do you justify that? And the answer is Srimad Bhagavatam. And when you delve into Srimad Bhagavatam, step by step we come to the 10th canto, and in 10th canto we see who Krishna is. And also at the beginning also it has been pointed out. After describing different incarnations of the Lord, it has been mentioned that there are innumerable incarnations of the Lord. Avatara means incarnation. He indeed, definitely, asankhayo, countless. There are innumerable incarnations. But Krishnastu Bhagavan Sayam. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. And Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartha Mahan. Pumartha means goal of life. Mahan, the ultimate goal of life is to achieve that Krishna Prem. See, just in one verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained it so wonderfully. Gave everything. That is the thing about these Acharya's statements and Krishna's statements. Just in one verse, he's explaining everything. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartha Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam. This is the teachings, this is the ultimate conclusion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. Tatradara naparaha. Just accept that wholeheartedly. There's no need to accept anything else. So this is how these understandings are presented. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he gave, from that what do we get? The question arises, is Narayan or Vaikuntha the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What is the answer? No. Is Krishna of Dwarka the Supreme Personality of Godhead? No. Is Krishna of Mathura the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Is Krishna the son of Devaki and Vasudeva the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Then who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Son of Nanda Maharaj. And in order to emphatically establish that, Stadhama Vrindavanam, whose abode is Vrindavan. And then the question arises, okay, in Vrindavan also there are different types of relationships, friendship, parental and conjugal. And that also he is pointing out, the way the gopis worshipped him, that is the highest form of worship, the conjugal mellow. And when it comes to conjugal, then again also there are two considerations. Conjugal relationship, accepting the social norm through getting married, and not paying any heed to the social convention, just simple love. Relationship based on simple love. Couldn't care less about getting married or not getting married. So that is the highest form of worship. That means this also goes into that. For a woman, her honor is the most precious thing. Her honor, that she is chaste, that is the most precious thing for a woman. And when a woman is prepared to give that up, that is the highest sacrifice. They couldn't care for their honor. In a way, they were seen as unchaste. And their mood is, for the sake of Krishna, we are prepared to do anything. That is the highest form of love. Okay, I'll end the class with the pastime of Krishna in Vrindavan with Radharani. Srimati Radharani is deeply in love with Krishna. Now, apparently, Radharani is married to somebody else. I'm saying apparently because it's Krishna's pastimes. Why Radharani is married to somebody else? Because love, when it has some obstacle, then the love becomes even more deep. Like when the love is there but one cannot express that love, then the love becomes even deeper. So that's why this arrangement that Radharani is apparently married. But who is she married to? She is married to Krishna's shadow. So there is no question of immorality or so forth. So Radharani is married to a person called Abhimanyu. Or in his common name, sometimes we have nickname. His nickname is Ayan Ghosh. Ayan Ghosh or Abhimanyu. So, and Abhimanyu has his mother and Abhimanyu has his sister. So I think every married woman knows how sweet is their relationship with the mother-in-law and sister-in-law. Of course, in the West, you don't even live in a joint family, so you are excused from that sweet relationship. So, and Abhimanyu's mother and sister, they suspect that their brothers, that Radharani is having a love affair with someone else. So can you imagine, like if the mother and sister feels that their son or brother's wife is having a relationship with someone else? So they suspect that they have that she has a relationship with Krishna, but they cannot catch him. So, like how Krishna actually acts, it has been described in Nectar of Devotion through some Krishna's pastimes. One day, Abhimanyu had to go to a distant place. So he told his mother that he is going to a distant place, so he won't be back for some time. So when he left, Krishna assumed the form of Abhimanyu, came there and mother's name is Jatila, that, what happened, my son? You just left and you came back. Yes, mother, I was missing you so much. So I thought I'll do that chore some other time and I'll just be with you. So mother was very happy to hear that. And then after a while, real Abhimanyu came. So Jatila wondered, Jatila, who are you? What are you doing here? Mother, I am Abhimanyu. Yes, you are Abhimanyu. She picked up the broom and started to beat him up. So this is how Krishna would have his pastimes with Srimati Radharani. Then one day, Krishna was there in Radharani's room. And Kutila, Abhimanyu's sister, could hear that Radharani is talking to somebody. She went eavesdropping. Yes, it is Krishna. So now I am going to catch him red-handed. But as she opened the door, Krishna just jumped out of the window and ran away. She could see that it was Krishna running away, but she couldn't catch him, so she was feeling so bad that I came so close to catching him and I couldn't. But then she saw that in a hurry, Krishna forgot his flute. and the flute is lying on the bed. So she picked up the flute. So today I caught you red-handed. So she took the flute in one hand, grabbed Radharani by another hand, dragged her to the courtyard, called everybody and started to eloquently describe what happened. And Radharani was, her face downwards, eyes casted downwards, shedding tears. At that time, Purnamashi, is Yogamaya, who actually makes the arrangements for Krishna's pastimes. She's an elderly lady. Everyone respects her in Vrindavan. Purnamashi came there and asked, "What's happening? Why are you all gathering here?" And Kutila started to tell her what actually happened, and finally she caught her with Krishna. She couldn't catch Krishna, but Krishna in a hurry forgot his flute, left it there, and she found that. So Jatila started to laugh. And everybody becomes surprised, especially Kutila. Such a serious matter and you're laughing as if nothing has happened. So Purnamashi said, "Don't you know? Last night there was a shower of flutes. And the flutes were showered everywhere. Come Kutila, let's go to your room." And Kutila's bed, she found 6 flutes. Jotila, let's go to your room. There she found 25 flutes. So in this way, Krishna's pastimes go on with Radharani. And what is the purpose of these pastimes? Iti driksha lilabhir ananda kunde. In this way, through these pastimes, Krishna drowns his devotees in an ocean of ecstasy. Ananda kunde, shaghoshan nimajjantam akhapayantam. But Radharani was feeling very heartbroken. She was feeling that I am in love with Krishna. I know that it is not proper. I am married, but I can't help but love Krishna. So in this life, I'm not going to get Krishna. So let me give up my body. So when Radharani was contemplating in this way, Krishna, the super soul, understood what was going on in Radharani's heart. At that time, Krishna was lying on Mother Jashoda's lap, drinking milk. And all of a sudden, Krishna fainted. And not only that, there was no sign of life in his body. Mother Jashoda shrieked. Nanda Maharaj came running. Mother Jashoda said, "Look, my son, what happened? My baby is dead." All of a sudden, he was okay. He was drinking my milk, and all of a sudden, "Please go and find a doctor quickly." So Nanda Maharaj came out of the house running, and then he saw a Vaid, an Ayurvedic doctor. In Vedic culture, from the dress and appearance, one can make out one's occupation. Like Kshatriyas would dress in a certain way, Vaishyas would dress in a certain way, doctors would dress in a certain way. So he could see that there is a doctor. So he asked, "Please come to our house. My son all of a sudden fainted." The doctor said, don't worry. Like I can even make a dead man alive. So he goes and checks. Yeah, very serious condition. But there is a remedy also. There is a cure. What is the cure? What's the cure? Some water from Jamuna. Everyone said, "Oh, water from Jamuna. Jamuna is flowing here, so there's abundant water there." Yeah, water from Jamuna, but that water has to be brought bucket that has thousands of holes in it. So everyone said, how is it possible to carry water in a bucket that's full of holes? Yes, I know, it is difficult, but a chaste woman will be able to do that. A person who is really chaste will be able to do that. Mother Jashoda was about to. No. If the mother does that, that won't work. So, different ladies, different girls, they tried. As soon as they lifted the bucket, all the water drained out. The doctor said, serious situation. It looks like there is no chaste woman in Vrindavan. Okay, let me make some astrological calculation and see if I can find any chaste woman here. He did some calculation, drew some figures, and I found two ladies, really chaste. Who are they? Jyotila and Kutila. So they went to Jyotila and Kutila and told them what actually happened. And Jyotila and Kutila very proudly said, yes, this astrologer really knows what is what. So two of them very proudly walked in. Kutila said, Mother, why should you take the trouble? I will do it. So she went, dipped the bucket in Jamuna, and as soon as she lifted, all the water fell off. Jyotila was very upset. You disgrace to our family. You drown yourself in Jamuna. Okay, I'll go and get it. So she picks up the bucket, proudly walks up to the river, dips it in the water. As soon as she lifted, all the water fell off. The astrologer, the doctor is in a big crisis now. What to do? In whole of Vrindavan, there is no chaste woman. Anyway, let me give another try. Let's see if I can find anybody. He made the calculation. One name came up. Radha. Jyotila and Kutila started laughing. Radha? Chaste? Give us a break. But no one paid any heed to them. Mother Jashoda herself went and told Radha, Radha, this is the situation. She started to cry. Everybody knows me. Everybody knows my character. Mother Jashoda said, look, you are the only hope. You are the last hope for Krishna. Please come for Krishna's sake. So Radharani went there with trembling feet and downcast eyes. She came, picked up the bucket. Hesitatingly, she put it in the water. Slowly she lifted. Not a single drop fell out of that bucket. And the water was brought to that doctor. He took that water, chanted some mantra, sprinkled on Krishna's body. Krishna woke up as if he just woke up from his sleep. So, this is how Krishna proved that Radharani is the most chaste woman. So where lies our ultimate chastity? Our loyalty to Krishna. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.